Is my nail color bad? I don't really like it.
No, I've actually been looking at it, and I really, really like the red on you.
This red, though?
Yeah, I do like that red.
Okay.
You don't like it?
I have really long fingers. I don't know if it's the shape or the color I don't like.
The shape is a little, like, it looks really wide right here. Like, where the finger, the tip of the finger at the very top.
Yeah.
Usually they thin it out a little more.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets a little wider coming out.
I think I just need to file them down.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll look better.
I'm thinking about getting my nails done tomorrow because at my work, 1 week a year, I meet with a lot of really important people. And it's like,
that's all fancy.
like every hour it's different groups of important people. And then like I have to film some stuff and my hands are in it. So I'm like, maybe I'll get them done for the week because I am like representing the company I work for. So I want to put on a good face, but
I just want my hand to look nice when I'm holding a beer.
It looks very nice. Stop doing that.
Oh my God. When I was in 8th grade, I took a world languages class.
Yeah.
So we did every like quarter, we did a new, like they just touched on languages. So we did sign language, French, Russian, and Mandarin.
Oh, that's so cool.
But just kind of touched on them.
Yeah.
The sign language and the French were my favorite because Mandarin and Russian were really fucking hard.
Yeah, that sounds really difficult. Whereas Romance languages are more similar.
Yeah. When my teacher taught sign language is, and if any of you know, you'll know this, but some of the, like, one word will be, like, if you just turn your hand the other direction, it'll be a bad word. So she had to teach us the bad words to teach us what to avoid.
Yeah.
And then she told us funny stories. For example, like, you'll just have to look it up. But basically, if you take, like, put your hand by your mouth and then go down, that means hungry, right? If you're, like, hungry.
Yeah.
But if you do it a bunch of times, it means, like...
I think you've told me this before.
Oh, okay. It means, like, sexually hungry.
Yeah.
But she said it's important to know that stuff because one might assume, like she said, one guy one time was, like, doing this, trying to say, I'm really hungry, but that's not what it means. And then, like, I don't remember which way, but, like, when your hand's on your face, one way means recently, the other way is prostitute. So, like, there's a lot of weird things.
I had to learn a little bit of sign language because we took a random class in the 1st and 2nd grade where they taught us some stuff and they taught us a few songs and things like that. And I only remember, like, random words from it that really I can't use. But it's fun to know, like, a few random different signs.
I know this is cookie.
I
and
know
milk.
That. Oh. Yeah, that's milk because babies.
Yeah.
You can teach babies sign language before they can talk.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot, though.
This is world.
Mother, father, mother, father, grandfather. You go out one, grandmother. Blue or brown?
This is blue.
So this must brown. Be brown. Yeah, something on your,
Do you guys love this? You can't see anything we're doing. Sorry. We picked this one thing to talk about. You have to look to know.
We're going to spend an hour talking about sign language.
We're going to start transcribing this in sign language, but you can't see.
Sorry. We literally picked the worst topic for a podcast ever. I'm like, okay, this thing I'm doing with my hands that you can't see. Yep, great, got it.
I wonder what podcast is. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
How was your week? It's, let's see, what week is it now? End of January.
Oh, wait. I'm going to do something real quick. That's weird.
I'm afraid. Where are you going? What are you doing in there?
My posture's bad, and this is the perfect time to work on it.
What is it?
It forces you. You see it? It literally forces you.
Caitlin just left the room to go put on this weird mini backpack that forces you to, like, sit straight.
Yeah, like you can't slouch.
Oh, well, that'll be good.
Yeah.
I just literally push my butt out.
I know, you have really good posture, and it, I almost said mortifies. It motivates me.
Oh,
it mortifies me and motivates me.
It motivates her so much she bought a weird little weighted backpack. It's cute.
Yeah.
Aw, you looked so cute when you got on the bus as a kid.
I guarantee I did not, but thank you.
She looked cute. I know it.
I'm ready for a beer, so can we open it?
Yes. Alrighty.
Tell us about your beer.
My beer is a double IPA.
Woo woo.
Fun that it's a double. It's from Boulevard Brewing Company in Kansas City, which we've had Boulevard a couple times.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Ooh, the cap is really cute. Ooh, bless you. Burpees. It's called the Calling IPA, and it has like kind of Art Deco-y 1920s gray and white art on it. It's actually a really cool bottle.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
8.5% alcohol by volume.
Whoop.
Brewed and bottled in Kansas City, Missouri.
Whoop.
Fun. Shall we open her?
Yes.
Will it be like last time? Oh, shit.
Jesus.
I spilled it again. I spilled it last episode. Oh, that smells like an IPA.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like R. Kelly is here.
I'm never going to stop.
Okay, but that's one thing from the show, and it's really, I should stop, because it really is so insensitive to make a joke about it, the pee thing, because he peed on a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And so, like, I shouldn't make jokes. Like, it's really insensitive to do that. But it's become, R. Kelly piss jokes have been something that I remember as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
It was so long ago.
It was before Ignition.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So it was a little too tight. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that I do appreciate that millennials, a majority of us, check ourselves.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's a fun thing about our generation, guys. Or if you're not a millennial, it's a fun thing about us.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sick of hearing, like, they're so easily offended.
Like, no.
How about we're just not pieces of shit?
How about we just don't want to offend anyone else? Yeah. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not offended, but I don't want to offend anyone else.
You know, like, there's times when I make a joke and someone's like, you shouldn't say that. And I'm like, yeah, but it was fun. Like, there's some things where I'm like, okay, there still has to be comedy.
Yeah.
But I do check myself, because then watching that, I'm like, oh, shit. And they talk about it on there, and they're like, it's, the pee jokes have been, like, they were on the Dave Chappelle show and SNL and all these different things.
And it was traumatizing to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Ooh, I love that.
Very good.
Love it. It doesn't taste like a double IPA. It tastes like a regular.
Nope. This is less hoppy than the alien one in our last episode.
Yeah. But normally double IPAs, I stay away from when I'm out drinking, because sometimes they almost are, like, boozy.
Yeah.
And I don't like that taste.
I like the boozy.
Oh.
But this doesn't have that bitter taste that hops sometimes leave, like, in your throat.
Yeah.
It's easy to drink. If you don't love IPAs, this might be a good one to try. Yeah, you guys hear a ton of Velcro. She's adjusting her posture weight
Which is interesting, because it's a double. Like, I would never recommend a double to someone who doesn't like IPAs, but this is a lot less hoppy than the Alien.
Yeah, it's not terribly hoppy, so if you want to start getting into IPAs, the Calling from Boulevard Brewing Co. might be a nice one for you to try. All right, want to share what our theme is today?
Oh, yeah. So we already have done old-timey. Now we're going to do new-timey.
So, recent cases.
I wrote on the top of my paper, new-timey.
It was actually kind of difficult, because new-timey cases often either don't have complete resolutions, or there's not a ton of information on them because they're new.
And by new-timey, we're doing the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Like recent but yeah.
So that was something we wanted to pick as we celebrated the new year, doing something recent.
Yeah, let's talk about recent murders to celebrate the new year.
So I'm going to go first on mine.
She's Sarah.
I'm Sarah. And mine actually isn't a murder.
Oh.
But it's something that was all over the national news for about a month, and then
this is hurting.
Wasn't.
It's easier to do when I stand up.
Just have a sway
Tits
back.
up.
Yep. Tits up.
Tits up.
Somebody told me that I reminded them of Mrs. Maisel, and it was the best compliment I ever got.
Tits up.
I was like, oh, thanks. They're like, yeah, you're weird like her. I was like, I am, so... And they're like, and witty. I'm like, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the Hacienda healthcare rape in Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
The one of the woman who was in a vegetable state.
Yeah.
And she was raped while in somebody's care.
That's all I know about it.
That's all I knew, too.
Shit.
I know.
I am...
She got into
buckled
all of
in,
her
tits up.
Carousel seats. Not carousel.
I almost said tits out, and I was like, nope, it's tits up.
Keep them in.
Tits in, butt up.
But, yeah. That's weird.
Not butt up, but... Okay.
Not butt.
Just tell me to shut up.
Okay, shut up. So, my sources are a bunch of different articles from Bree Burkett for the Arizona Republic.
Stop there. A bunch of different articles.
Just a lot of stuff, guys. Moving on. KTAR News, Ashley Coleman for Insider, and Michael Stone for Progressive Secular Humanist. And I was like,
nice.
Anyways, most articles are from Bree Burkett, who is local. We're in the Phoenix area. This is a Phoenix case. Thanks, Bree.
Thank you, Bree.
She followed this.
Your cheese is very good.
2 burpees. We enjoyed your cheese, Miss Burkett.
I don't know how I have friends.
I don't know, but I'm the same way. So, in 1992, a toddler girl from...
sailed the ocean blue.
I love making those jokes now. Like, Evan... Sorry, we're tanging a little bit. Evan's my husband. He'll be like, what's the population of India? He's like, I can't remember. And I'm like, oh, 300,000. Like, something that's just not true at all. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I looked it up yesterday because I was curious. And Like, it's almost 400 now. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, he thinks I'm being serious every time.
Evan, never trust Sarah.
Never trust
Never
her.
trust your wife.
Okay, so in 1992, a toddler girl from the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona had been having relentless seizures.
Oh.
She was 3 years old, or she was 2 to 3 years old. And because of the seizures, this little baby girl fell into a vegetative state during her childhood. She wasn't born with mental disabilities, but she started getting seizures when she was 2 months old. And full grand mal seizures can cause brain damage, and that's what this did to her.
So like epilepsy or just...
It never really said, but I'm guessing she had epilepsy,
Yeah.
and it just came on strong.
Yeah.
And so ever since she was 2 or 3 years old, she started having extreme issues. Her intellectual capacities were severely stunted. She also was never able to speak. She was a mute. She was brought to a healthcare facility for around-the-clock care in her early childhood from the Apache Reservation. They brought her to a healthcare center called Hacienda Healthcare in Phoenix, Arizona. So Hacienda Healthcare still exists. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. It's a facility that offers long-term care, in-home care, residential services, special needs and autism services, and some more things. So it's people who need not temporary care, but someone that really needs
very
something.
long-term.
Yes. So this girl... I hate to call her this girl or this woman, but that's what I'm going to call her because she's actually anonymous.
Because she's a sexual assault victim.
She's a sexual assault victim, and she can't consent to having her name out there because she's a mute, and I'll explain more about her condition, but she can't give consent.
Yeah.
This girl, she grew up in Hacienda, essentially, in this healthcare center from the time she was like 8 or 9. She's lived there her entire life.
Oh, wow.
So
it's not a hospital. It's a
Yeah, almost like an old people's home, kind of.
Okay.
But they have like medical facilities there, but not everything. So for example, if a patient is having a heart attack, they'll call 911.
So it's like assisted living more.
Yeah, but they do have nurses, IV drips, things like that to
help.
Yeah, okay. But it's not a center where they would be able to provide like extreme medical procedures. So she was 20, I have the number later, she's in her late 20s when this happens to her. She's raped. But because she's been there 20 years, essentially, she's had many different nurses, many doctors, because they do have doctors that work at the Hacienda Healthcare, and nurses around the clock, and aides, and volunteers and things. So despite being in a vegetative state...
So is she in a coma this long? Like her whole life?
She's not in a coma. So I'm getting into that now.
I don't know. Sorry, I thought when I think vegetative state, I think coma.
That's
but
what
it's
I thought
not.
too.
Okay, but it's different.
So it's different in her case. It might mean a coma in other cases. So she was responsive. She responded to some sounds, and she also responded to pain. Like you could tell in her face she was in pain. She would respond by doing facial gestures and through sounds of pain, like crying out, things like that. She was able to move her head, neck, and her limbs, so her arms and her legs, but in a very limited way. When they would give her a respirator, which I don't know when and why, or a ventilator, I don't know when and why she needed it, but she would like react kind of violently. So she was semi-reactive, but mostly unresponsive. So she was awake and she was aware with whatever mental facility she had. You can't find a lot on this case and about her state, but she definitely wasn't like in a coma. She was awake.
Yeah, what a heartbreaking life, though.
Oh, I know. I think about it too. I'm like, what's she gonna do her whole life? This makes a whole bigger conversation that probably is very controversial, so I won't give my opinion. But what do you do when somebody is not going to be able to live a life and they're literally just lying there? It's hard. So anyways, she was living this life. At the age of 29 in 2019, a Hacienda staff member dialed 911 when she went into the room and this girl had given birth alone. She had a baby. The baby was not breathing, and amazingly, the woman had no complications.
They didn't even know she was pregnant?
No, which I'll get into. I listened to the 911 call. It was a female nurse who called 911, and it's very clear in the 5-minute 911 phone call that she's extremely overwhelmed. She's so overwhelmed that it's easy to assume that 911 or like whoever you're asking help from knows more than they know. So she's like, she had a baby. We didn't even know she was pregnant. And then the person's like, who are you and where are you? And she's like, she had a baby. And they're like, is she okay? And then she's like, she looks okay. And they're like, can you ask her if she's okay? And then she's like, she can't.
You kind of assume,
Yeah, and so